Morning. It feels like one of those days where everything goes in slow motion. It's only 9 o'clock, but I'm going out with my brother today. I just want to get up to the gym right now. I'm going to a gym called Extreme Gym, East Kilbride. It's quite a hardcore bodybuilding gym. I'm not too sure how much I'll show of it. It's not the same doing a gym review without Jordan. That's what I've came to realise. But my forearms are pretty exhausted from the rock climbing. Definitely overtrained. My calves are still overtrained from the marathon. But okay, it is what it is. I'm going to go in today and do an upper body workout. I'm going to blast my chest, shoulders, triceps, and then I'm going to move on to my back because I didn't actually get to feel the fatigue in my back I was looking for. I'm going to be, see if I can pull them out. I'm going to be using these little bad boys, and I'm going to be using these to help me pull through my elbows and use my back over my forearms. So yeah, it's going to be a good workout. I tend to pair my muscle groups. I'll be doing all my push work and then I'll be going on to my pull work. And yeah, so let's get the day moving. Okay, I'm not actually going to show every single set of every single exercise that I do here, but this is just a little kind of overview of how I've been training for the past probably close to a year now. So I've kind of started doing these top sets, and I actually really enjoy it because I find that you can actually really gauge on where your limit is before your form breaks down too much. You can see by these videos here that the benches are pretty trash. They kind of move when you're going up and down, so it made it quite hard to roll back when you're actually doing your bench press. But I also like to group all my muscle groups together. So if I'm doing a push day, I like to do all my chest work first, and then I like to do all my tricep work, and then I'll finish off with my shoulder work. Reason being is because I don't like to hit my shoulders before my triceps, because you get that shoulder fatigue when you're actually training your triceps. As well, when I'm training my shoulders, there was a podcast by Mountain Dog where he basically mentioned that doesn't really matter how hard you train your shoulders, it's not going to increase your bench press, so you're better just hitting them with some volume, and it's going to make them grow and you'll be a little bit more aesthetic. Now, once I actually get to my top set, I'll then either repeat the set for as many as I can, and then I'll drop to 75% and perform a few sets just to kind of get more hypertrophy set ranges. As you see, some of the machines here actually move with you as you perform each rep, and it's actually pretty good because it actually helps you with your mind-muscle connection. I could really feel myself targeting my muscle groups. One thing to bear in mind is don't be scared to train hard. Like, perform as many drop sets as you want. As long as you're getting a good fulfillment out of each workout, then don't be scared to keep following the same rep ranges or the same exercises. If you want to mix it up, mix it up. If you want to add a set on, add a set on. If you want a drop set, do it. Just train hard and your body will adapt and get used to it, and that's how you make gains. Personally, I train with a lot of aggression. The music's really good for hyping yourself up, as well as like a pre-workout like caffeine. But at the end of the day, you need to channel your inner aggression just to give yourself that extra energy output. That's going to force you to break the muscle group down and just train harder than last time. I always like to do a push workout with a overhead movement as well as a push down movement, and you can actually see in my tricep extensions that I was doing some drop sets. I was doing some skull crushers where I was then going over my head to make it, which is the hardest range of motion for this movement, before when I fatigued I would then bring it to my forehead, a little bit easier, then I'd actually drop the set to a lighter weight and just repeat it just to get some more volume in. Usually I always finish with my shoulder movement as a superset, but I didn't have any dumbbells close to me here, so I just ran the rack down for 2 sets on a machine shoulder press. Usually I would do some form of shoulder press variation with a lateral raise. And since I had done rock climbing yesterday, I had done some pull movements just because I wasn't happy with how fresh my back was feeling following the rock climbing. My grip was fatigued, and then I was really focusing on pulling through my elbows using those little wrist grips that I've actually got, and I was just finishing off with some pull movement. Now, one other tip that I would definitely recommend is if you see a piece of equipment that you've never tried before and you want to try it, go try it. If your workout plan says you've got some form of horizontal row variation, like a bent over row, but you see this piece of kit, go and try it, because you're going to end up training harder on that piece of kit than you would have with your bent over row. So just mix it up and just go and smash it. Now, realistically, you can listen to me talk about my training techniques and my training styles, but at the end of the day, it's just showing up for yourself, showing up to the gym, and just show up, and eventually you will start seeing changes. Consistency is king. What a sick workout that was. My head is like mush. I didn't bother hitting any biceps just because my forearms are really fatigued. Yeah, awesome. I wouldn't go there for a bench session just purely because of it's a bodybuilding gym and the bench in there's not that good, but I can't take away the equipment that they've got there. So I'm going to give it 2 points for the bench, for the equipment, sorry. Gym lighting, banging. Sadly, it's hard to record yourself. I didn't have Jordan with me, so all my angles are a bit meh. Allowed your gym bags next to your equipment, awesome, great. Gym lockers, yep, lockers, awesome, great. Music, it's like your hardstyle remixes, so that's if you're Scottish you'll love it. If you're not Scottish, I suppose it'll get your heart pumping. Cost, it's a tenner entry, which is quite expensive, but it's like £30 a month if you are paying it monthly, which is ideal if you want to go there. Whoops. Hours of operation, it's 6 o'clock till 10 o'clock weekdays. Weekends, it's 8:30 until 8 o'clock, which is standard. Give it a half mark for that. And I think that concludes it all. So out of 11, it actually works out a 10.5 out of 11. That's wild. You need to go. That's the one. It's the one. I'll leave its handle in the description. Extreme Gym, East Kilbride. It's hard to find. You need to find it through their Facebook page because it's not on the maps. The original one's in Glasgow. I've not been to that yet because it's in Glasgow. It's a little bit awkward to get to, but I need a gym partner for that one. So yeah, really good gym. You need to go. 10.5 out of 11. That's the highest rating that I've gave yet. Wow. Oh, I forgot to mention staff. Yep, staff are lovely. I've spoke to the staff the last time I was in, and stretching area. As you can see, there is plenty of space for a stretching area. There's also a punching bag, which is awesome if you're into that. And there's like a little kind of calisthenics area. It's like the longest monkey bar thing I've ever seen in a gym, but I didn't do that sadly because my forearms are shattered. Now I'm just basically, it's what time's that? It's around it's 12:30, so I'm gonna get in, out, changed, and go out with my brother and then see some family. So I'll catch up with you soon. Well, disaster. Second pool hall we've been to, and they're both closed. So that's a bit of a disaster. It says they're open, so I think we're just going to need to go to the driving range. I was quite looking forward to slapping Barry at a game of pool since I slapped my friends earlier on in the week, but it's just not meant to be. So we'll see what we get up to. Well, since Glasgow's in tier 3, bowling's closed. Where else is closed? Pool hall's closed. You can't use golf clubs in the driving range. We're just coming to East Kilbride for some food. Absolute shambles. I'll actually be up here later tonight for the cinema with Quinn. But this place used to be class. Now it's absolute dead. Even out of lockdown, it's always dead. East Kilbride Shopping Centre. Get your shit together. Well, we've got a Nandos. It's my brother's first Nandos. I'll tell you what, I've not missed Nandos because I'm looking forward to going back to Derby and eating my plain boring meals. It's just easy to intuitively eat and stay lean. I mean, but this is a good little break. But anyway, roll on next week when I'm back to living life in Derby. We had a nap. Seem to be napping every day for some reason now, and I'm not too sure why. I think it's just because I keep wrecking my body for the marathon, rock climbing, etc. But went and saw some family members, and now I tried to get my COVID jab just by chancing it and turning up, but it was just closing, and they said they wouldn't take me anyway, just because you need an appointment, and I'm actually in Derby, so I was just trying to wing it to see it would save me coming back up to Scotland to get it. But anyway, I'm just at East Kilbride, going to the cinema with my mate, with the cinema club, which was actually founded by me and Jordan back in the college days, which Connor doesn't like to admit, because when Jordan moved to Edinburgh, me and Connor took over and started going every week and just seeing any single film that was out. So yeah, going to the cinema with Connor, but I'm having issues with this. So I flipped my boot strut and I put a spring on it and it lets my boot pop open, and it's been like this for like 2 years, but it's starting to have issues with how small the diameter of this bolt is here that holds onto the strut. So I'm just putting it back onto the originals, which have a bigger diameter, that will stop this slipping off, and that should be this problem solved. So fingers crossed that it works out. Ta-da! Think of the money people pay for that, and all I did was reverse the strut and put a spring on it. Sick. That's why you should join car Facebook pages. Pretty helpful. It's the next day. Big man was tired when I came out the cinema, so I didn't bother vlogging the end of it. We were going to see a horror, but it was fully booked. I don't get how it was fully booked, because Derby, when I went to the cinema, it was only me and Jordan last week in the full cinema, and then I come to Glasgow and you can't get anything booked, because usually we just turn up and try and book it, but that wasn't the case. So we ended up we were able to see Mortal Kombat, which was alright. A bit of a trash ending, but it is what it is. Anyway, like and sub for that good stuff, and then we're going to call this vlog here, and I'll be posting tomorrow.